Don Poyer along with Jim Henrik here in Evansville, Indiana. It looks like Jim has jumped on one of the boats. Jim?
Don, you may not recognize him, but this is Ron Snyder. Ron, I guess you'd have to be considered an underdog with the competition.
Well, we've been there before, Jim. We'll just go out and do our best.
Okay, now you've got the turbine, you got the Budweiser. What are your plans for this heat? To sit in third slot?
Well, you know, it's up to Chip and Jim what slot they want out there. Whatever they pick, I'll take what's left over and give her everything she's got.
Going to play it safe here, Don, in the first heat, trying to get some points for the final. Back up to you.
All right, James, get out of there. You're going to get wet. Here's the rundown for 1B. Atlas Van Lines, American Speedy Printing, the Budweiser at 117.9, and Grizzlies Express at 114 miles per hour. Here are the men in the trenches. A close-up look at them. Scott Pierce out of Seattle, Washington, and Grizzlies Express. Jim Kropfeld and the Budweiser, a miracle that they're here after the damage suffered in New York. Also Ron Snyder of American Speedy Printing, always in the hunt. A great driver, Ron Snyder out of Ohio. And Chip Hanauer with a new boat, the turbine-powered Atlas Van Lines, qualifying at 140. Oh, wait a minute, Chip Hanauer isn't in the cockpit of the Atlas Van Lines. Oh, they're going to lift the boat out of the water. Evidently, they couldn't fire up that turbine engine. Oh, what a disappointment, setting a national record in qualifying, and now he can't race in this 1B as it begins with the Budweiser in lane 1, American Speedy Printing in lane 2, and Grizzlies on the outside. There you see on the right of the screen, just coming into the picture is the Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld at the wheel. In the middle of your screen, American Speedy Printing and Ron Snyder. Coming around on the outside in third place is Grizzlies Express. This could shape into one of those great races between the Bud and the American Speedy Printing. They did it last week, 2 weeks ago, rather, back in New York. And look at this, American Speedy Printing and Snyder on the outside, going against Kropfeld on the inside in the Miss Budweiser. They go down that narrow back chute here on the Ohio River in Evansville, Indiana. American Speedy Printing, Snyder out of Piqua, Ohio, holding on to first place as he comes around in lane 2 on the east turn. The Budweiser on the inside with great position is Jim Kropfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio. A couple of natives out of the state of Ohio having a lot of fun here in Heat 1B, about to complete lap number 1 here in Evansville, Indiana. American Speedy Printing, first place after lap number 1. There's the third place boat, the Grizzlies Express with Scott Pierce. As they head now down towards the west turn, you see some of the 85,000 people here in Evansville watching this race, the 6th annual Thunder on the Ohio. American Speedy Printing. This boat, the last really competitive boat that's still in the conventional design with the driver behind the boat. He's still got somewhat of a lead over the Budweiser. Remember now, the Budweiser, they've had to really try to dial it in again after that severe damage up in Syracuse, New York, where they lost a blade on a propeller, and they had to change that. They had to change the design underneath. They had to change the rudder, the prop shaft, many changes, and they've still got to get the boat dialed in. Now a healthy lead for American Speedy Printing as Ron Snyder puts his foot to the floor. Scott Pierce here in third place and the Grizzlies Express. Ron Snyder, an acoustical contractor by trade. You see the Budweiser there coming up almost deck to deck now with American Speedy Printing. Jim Kropfeld in his third year with the Budweiser crew and working for Bernie Little. Here they come after lap number 2. Still American Speedy Printing in first place. Third place back to Scott Pierce. Grizzlies Express. Speed 108 miles per hour for the American Speedy, 109 for the Budweiser. So you can see that he's coming up. Back to that west turn. Snyder coming around the outside, Rookie of the Year back in 1976 while driving the Miss Madison and the Miss Budweiser. Jim Kropfeld, Rookie of the Year, a couple of years ago for Bernie Little in the Miss Budweiser. You've got two of the finest drivers in the business right here. You can't help but wonder what it would be like if the Atlas Van Lines would have fired up for this Heat 1B in Evansville. We'll try to get a report on the Atlas Van Lines after Heat 1B. But again, it's the Budweiser. Kropfeld and Snyder of the American Speedy Printing having a good old time here on the Ohio River as they come around the east turn and come down the main chute for lap number 3. Allison Turbos, that's the engine for American Speedy Printing. The Griffin engine for the Budweisers. They come down that dogleg main straightaway. Average speed, 108 miles per hour for American Speedy, 109 for the Budweiser. So again, Kropfeld is inching ever so closely. Third place to Scott Pierce and Grizzlies Express. Fred Leland-owned boat, all aluminum boat. And here's your battle for first and second place into the west turn here on the Ohio River. Jim Kropfeld, who owns a muffler company in the town of Cincinnati, Ohio. And you've got on the outside a man who is an acoustical contractor on the outside, making a lot of noise here on this Sunday afternoon in Evansville. The Budweiser, as you've seen, has moved slightly ahead of American Speedy Printing. Third place, Scott Pierce trying to move up. Oh, look at the skid fin digging for the Budweiser as it comes around now, that east turn, and coming down towards the main straightaway. Snyder holding his own, however, staying on the outside, keeping the RPMs up, trying to stay close to this man, Jim Cropfield, one of the finest in the business. There's no denying it. This Budweiser boat will be retired at the end of this year, and right now it looks like he's in second place with Snyder holding on to a slim first place lead. Again back into the turn, and coming out of the east turn is Scott Pierce and the Risley's Express, the U40, Scott Pierce. Again, the Budweiser. American Speedy Printing on the outside. Snyder, an official. When he is not racing, he has done a lot of officiating for the Unlimiteds. Right now, he's got his hands full with a very powerful boat. And they're coming up now here on the last lap of the afternoon in Heat 1B. The Budweiser looks like it's going to be a drag race. Let's face it, they're both holding position now as they go into the east turn. The Budweiser with the position, however. Let's see now if Snyder can handle that baby and get it around and keep up the speed and be able to make it a drag race as they go past the exit buoy and down the main straightaway. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. It is nothing but a quarter-mile final. Coming down the straightaway, the Budweiser gets the win. American Speedy Printing second, Scott Pierce third. When you look at the numbers, here's how they came out. Budweiser with 400 points. American Speedy Printing coming in second. Risley's Express third, and Atlas Van Lines did not start. If you were to draw a line, an imaginary line across the finish, there's your margin of victory for the Budweiser. Looks like more than a boat length, but by a clock, it's only 0.6 of a second. Let's go down with Jim Hendrick and the winning camp of Budweiser.
Don, right now we're down on the end of the dock. Here's a happy owner and a happy driver. Let's talk to the driver first. Jim, that's close.
Well, it was a good race. You know, the Atlas wasn't there, and Ron and I, we ran to the best of our abilities, and we kind of took it easy. The water was a little rough.
Nick, you nervous, Bernie?
Oh, yeah, I'm walking the dock pretty good, saying get on it, man. He must have heard me, though, there when he come around the corner, huh?
Long time still to go, and these guys are happy they won Heat 1B. Back to you, Don.
Atlas Van Lines just got word they're going to be in Heat 2A. They've got to hurry if they're going to change the engine. Let's get a word from Chip Hanauer.
Chip, what's the problem?
We've got, this engine doesn't fire. We're going to have to make an engine change. We got about 10 minutes.
So while concern fills the minds of those in the Atlas camp, it's a beautiful afternoon for Mickey Riemann and company.